Okay, let's go ahead and mechanize this up to this point because that's going to be important. And this is a big part of your grade is having the base, the sliders, and the platform, and then having it all mechanized. And then you've got a big chunk of this done, and then you can work on developing with the time left, the actual seats or the ride that you would sit in on top of the platform itself. So if you did this correctly and you created this pin connection, you're going to actually now go to applications and go to mechanism. And you can see now that we have these little swirly type symbols that means you have a connection here. So this is called connection 5 and this is connection 4. Okay, and we've already tested this out with the drag components button to make sure everything's moving. There's no point in putting a motor on if this doesn't move and there's something wrong with it already. So we're going to go ahead and add a motor. So it's a servo motor. So we're going to click servo motor. And what you need to do is it wants to know what connection do you want the motor to be on. Well, let's go ahead and put it on connection 4. Click. You can see it does something here. It's adding that motor to that connection. And again, you can only add a motor to a pin connection. And then we have to set this up properly. So we're going to click on Profile to the Profile tab over here. We're going to change position to velocity. And we're going to give some type of value to how fast this is going to move basically. So 10 is relatively slow, 100 is really fast. Now you don't want this thing so fast that nobody can see what's going on with the ride, and there's a point at which there would be so many g-forces on the ride too that you could actually kill somebody, so we don't want to do that. So let's start with 10 and go ahead and hit apply and OK, and we have our motor on there, so you can see it looks like a big pig's tail, big curly Q, and that is actually our motor that's attached to that connection. And now it won't play yet. What we have to do is we have to come up to the top and do a mechanism analysis. And we have a start time, so it's basically analyze what we did. So we want to start time at 0. We'll go ahead and end time at 10 seconds, and then click run. And it's going to run through a rough, it's basically kind of rendering your video. And so it's like 30% done, so we'll just wait here for it. Okay, and it's done, so we'll click OK. And now we can actually see it run by clicking playback, clicking the playback button again up at the top left, and then you can actually hit the play button and you can adjust the speed here so it's going a little bit faster. Now it'll probably run faster on your computer, but I've got multiple programs running with the recording, so it's going kind of slow. The other thing that's maybe slowing it down is the fact that I put in 10 and then you could maybe adjust that number. I'll show you how to do that here next. But we could capture the video also. So if I want to stop this for a second and go to capture, you could save this out as a different file type. You could make an AVI, you can make an MPG file. You can photo render all the frames and make it photo quality, and this will be like a video of your actual ride so people can see it. And you could click OK there. And I'm just going to cancel out of that though and close out of here. I'm going to show you how to change the speed of your motor. What you absolutely don't want to do is add another motor and say, okay, this motor is going to be now faster. It's going to be 20, not 10. Well, that's not going to work. What you have to do is edit the motor you already have. So if you come down here to the left, there's motors to the left, and you're going to click the little arrow. Here's servo motors. Click that little arrow, and here's the one and only motor we have. Now, if you have servo motor 1, 2, 3, 4, you did the same thing a whole bunch of different times. You don't want 4 motors on the same connection. So we want to right click on this and edit definition. You can see it takes us backward and go profile, and I could double this speed here. And let's just even triple it. Let's make it 30. We can hit apply and OK, and then we can run another analysis. You always have to have another analysis when you go ahead and change something. So it's going to run through, and we'll wait for that. Okay, and we'll click OK, and then we can go to playback, and let's see if it plays faster. And let's go ahead and jack up the speed here a little bit. It's a little faster. Not really that great, but if you did capture this video, then it would play at that previous speed we saw. Yeah, I believe what's happening is just my computer's running really slow. But you can see how to mechanize, how the foundation of this ride is built, and then upon these pegs or whatever you design here, you're going to build all kinds of creative stuff. You can make teacup rides or Tinkerbell themed ride or a pirate ride or whatever you want to do, but make it super creative, add a lot of detail, add a lot of color. Rounds and chamfers will be really important, and spend all the time that you're given to develop this as much as possible.